Which expression is equivalent to x squared minus 6x minus 27? So here's the deal, everybody. Because we're dealing with a multiple choice question, we want to take advantage of that, especially when it comes to a pure math topic like this. So if you think about it moving forward, technically, this question is asking you to factor this trinomial into one of these. If you're working backwards, starting from the choices, if you notice, we could go ahead and expand the choices to see if it matches up with the question. So you have two real options here, two very real options. You can go the straightforward way and try to factor this, or you can try to see which of these pairs multiplies to negative 27, but adds up to negative 6. Because remember, going forward, the rule for factoring trinomials is find the factors of C that add up to B. And these are your pairs. These are your factor pairs. Negative 8 and positive 4, negative 27 and positive 1, negative 9 and positive 3, negative 10 and positive 2. So when you take a look, two of these answers already do not make sense. Watch this, everybody. Negative 10 times positive 2. Everybody, if I multiply those together, negative 10 and positive 2, I get negative 20. Is negative 20 the same as negative 27? Absolutely not. And so that wouldn't work immediately. D is gone. Another one that really wouldn't work at all is A, for the same reason. Everyone, negative 8 times positive 4, that is negative 32. Again, not going to be the number we're looking for there at the end. We're looking for negative 27. The only two that make sense so far are going to be negative 27 times positive 1, because that is negative 27. And then we have negative 9 times positive 3, which is negative 27. So B and C so far are in the running. The correct answer is going to end up being C, because when you add those pairs together, negative 27 plus 1, that's going to be negative 26 on the x. That doesn't work. But then negative 9 plus 3, that's going to be negative 6x, which is what we have here. So if you wanted to use the answer choices, you could figure out with some mental math fairly quickly. If you're confident with your arithmetic, you can get C fairly easy. But if you wanted to go the straightforward way, which is actually factoring, let me show you how that's going to be done. We have x squared minus 6x minus 27. So I'm going to find the factors of negative 27 that add up to negative 6. That's the goal. And everybody, remind me again, because these are the rules that we're going to be applying over and over and over again. What do we know about the pair if they multiply to a negative number, everybody? If we have a negative number that we're multiplying to, what do we know is a fact about the pair? What do we know? Yeah, negative and positive, exactly. There's one negative and one positive. That's what we know about multiplying up to get a negative number. One is positive, one is negative. So what are my pairs going to be? 1 and 27, 3 and 9. That's really all we have. Those are the factor pairs of 27. And so when we take a look at which one of these has to be negative for this to work, well, everybody, you tell me. Because it adds up to a negative number, we know that the bigger number has to be what, everybody? Because it adds up to a negative, the bigger number is the one that has to be negative. Because when you add and you have one positive, one negative, you are going to keep the sign of the bigger number. So guess what? That means that the negative belongs to the 9. Not the 3, but the 9. And so what we have now is going to be x with the positive 3 and x with the negative 9, or x minus 9. If you expand this, you'll get the same correct answer that we have right here. We have x squared minus 9x plus 3x and then minus 27. Bring these together, and that's where your negative 6x comes from. And there we go. The correct answer here, again, proven, is answer choice C. All right, so trying this problem out, we're looking at this one and it says, which expression is equivalent to x squared plus 17x plus 66? So everybody, it's clear here. We have this trinomial, 1, 2, 3 terms with a polynomial. So again, that is a trinomial and we are going to factor this. The rule is going to be that we have to look at this as x squared plus bx plus c. So particularly, we're referencing the b and the c in this little approach that we're going to take. The approach is we are going to find the factors of c that add up to b. That is your main rule, everybody. So step 1, we're going to find the factors of 66. C is 66. So right here, we'll lay this out in a little table. And the first numbers, the first pair that you typically want to just cross out is 1 and that number itself. So if we're trying to find the factors of 66, 1 times 66. The factors of 57, 1 times 57. 112, 1 times 112. Start with that first, because then you're going to ask yourself, hey, does this add up to b? And in this case, b is 17. Everybody, yes or no, does 1 plus 66 equal 17? Absolutely not. So we can tell already that this won't work. Next, 66 is an even number, so I can use 2. That'll be 2 times 33. Cut 66 in half. That's what we get. But everybody, is 2 plus 33 equal to 17? It is not. So what we're going to do is we're going to say that that's not a deal. That's not going to happen. Next up, let's try 3. So if we try 3, well, 66 divided by 3, that'll end up being 22. Everyone, is 3 plus 22 going to be 17? So I hope you guys are clearly seeing the pattern that I'm going through and how this opens the door for mental math down the road. You're really wondering, hey, what's the combination that also adds to 17? And that's going to be right here. That's going to be 6 times 11, everybody. 6 times 11 is 66. 6 plus 11 is going to be 17. And there we are. So we have the combination that works, 6 times 11 and 6 plus 11. And so now all we need to do is fill in those placeholders, everybody. We have the x's up front, and I'm going to be very clear, everybody. We're going to be looking at the sign. So we have a positive 6 right there, and we have a positive 11. That's going to be very important when we start doing problems that start including negatives. But there we go. The correct answer here, everybody, is going to be answer choice C, even though it's written in the other way with the x plus 11 in the front. Again, 3 times 2 is the same as 2 times 3. So regardless, the correct answer is C, and we can move forward just getting a little bit better.